All right, so what you got here is the Sharyland Survivor BP. It's been, copied and stuff like that from a lot of different places. But the way we do it is you actually have 5 rounds, which you see over here. So you've got your 5 rounds. First round is sack bunt. Second round is hit and run. Third round is runner on third base with less than 2 outs. Fourth round is a man on second base, no outs. And then the 5th round is 2-strike approach. So that's just the different situations that we do. And what you have over here is you have the player, okay, if he makes it through all 5 rounds. And this is the first group. So in the first group, we had Jose, Abraham, Martin, and Zuniga. So really what you start off with is what we usually do is we have our freshmen kind of lined up over here doing base running. And we have our coach over here set up. And, of course, we got the cages, and you got Jose up first. And it's pretty simple. Really what we have is these third basemen are pretty much playing it live. Shortstop, second baseman, first baseman, they're all getting fungo from the other guys that are over here on deck circles. That way everybody's getting a ball, but it's really just the third baseman who's actually trying to fill the bunts. And what we have is we can set up cones or however we want to do it. So that sack bunt's got to be within that zone. We have a coach that's over here scoring on whether they get it done. So Jose comes up to the plate. Jose's going to get 5 pitches to try and sack bunt. We're trying to lay it down third base side within a certain area. And if he gets the first one done, we mark it off. Second one done. Third one done. He's good to go. So he's got to get 3 out of the 5. Say he doesn't get the other ones, but he advances on to the next round, which is hit and run. All right, so we have all those, and so the next guy would come up, and how you would get eliminated is, say Abraham's at the plate. And, he bunts and foul, whatever, doesn't get him in the zone that we're looking for. You can change it up so you can have him bunt to first base, however you want to do it. So, say he gets the first one, misses all the rest of them, maybe gets the last one, he's eliminated. So that's why you call it Survivor BP. So that's going to be the first round sack bunt. And like I said, we like to use our freshmen and guys who haven't played very much to kind of get a feel for each situation, so they're reacting to the bunt and everything else. So that's kind of the first round, and we go through next guy, he stays in and gets out, next guy stays in and gets out. So it really puts a lot of pressure on them when they're sack bunting. So this first group, of course, is live at the plate. Okay, so they're at the plate, and this second group is actually in our cages, which are right over in here, and they're working on a lot of different things that we've got set up in the cages. And the third group will be shagging, and the fourth group will be shagging. So these guys are waiting. And then, of course, once first group is done, then, of course, the second group will come out live. Third group will go into the cages. Fourth will still be shagging, and group 1 will come back out to the field. Also, at this time, what we have is we've got the hack attack set up over here in left field and shooting all the different types of fly balls, ground balls that we can think of. Eventually, we'll move this over here to our dugout and start to hit fly balls this way. That way, our outfielders are getting some work. Guys will be playing live. 3 guys will be playing it live once we get past the sack bunts. And then the other group will be over here, getting all different types. And we have a manager set up over here. Right, he's sitting in the dugout and actually shooting balls out with the hack attack machine. We have the small one and we have the big one. So that's kind of the way it's set up. So the next round will be hit and run. And on the hit and run, now we're going to have our freshman out here at second base. So we're going to have them at first base. And on hit and run, they're moving on the pitch. Of course, I'm throwing. So if Jose's up there, Jose actually got through the first round. And this is where the coach is going to really have to judge. It's kind of up to him. You can be nice to him or you don't have to be nice to him. And he's just trying to move this guy over. If you can hit behind him, that's fine. If he hits a ground ball, gets through, or if he hits a ground ball, most of the time we're gonna give it to him. He gets 3 ground balls in a row. Now he's going to advance to the next round, so he's good to go to get into round 3. So same thing that happened. Abraham was already knocked out on the last round. Say Martin only gets 2 hit and runs done, then he's going to get eliminated. All right, so that's how the Survivor works. So on the second one, all you're doing is working hit and run and getting your freshmen in here. And you can have, a lot of times we have almost 4 or 5 guys going at a time. You just got to make sure they're not cheating off this first guy. So that's the second round. All right, so the third round is runner on third base with less than 2 outs. So this is going to change. Now we've got our freshman over here. Got to be real careful with them, because now we've got Jose made it through the first 2 rounds, so he's on the third round. And now anything that's going to score that guy with less than 2 outs, and you can give him different situations. You can have the infield in. You can have the infield playing back. So anything deep to the shortstop, deep to second base, deep to the right side is going to score him. Or now this is where we're starting to get into deep fly balls to score him. And again, the coach is sitting there, and he's going to actually mark whether or not this guy got it. So it's really kind of up to the coach on, so Jose hits 3 deep fly balls, turns on 3 inside pitches, and he's going to advance to the next round. And, if this guy doesn't, then he gets eliminated. And you actually end up with just 1 guy in the group, which actually happens for us, especially when you start getting into round 4. So on round 4, what you have is a man on second base and no outs. So this is where it really gets tough. So now we've got our runners here at second base. So now we're looking for base hits, anything that's going to score that guy. So this is where it starts to get real tough. So he can get a base hit, and again, it really depends on the coach on how nice he's going to be, how he's not. So if he moves him over, we can give him a point. That day, maybe you got to get a base hit. So really, he's got to get 3 base hits out of the 5 to go to the next round. So this is the one that usually knocks everybody out. And then our last one, which is the 2-strike approach. So say Jose, he gets 3 of them done. He ends up going to the next round, and the next round is going to be 2-strike approach. So at this point right now, I'm throwing from a short distance already, but I'm almost throwing as hard as I can, throwing sliders, throwing changeups, whatever. And what he's trying to do is hard contact pretty much anywhere with 2 strikes. So something that's put in play. So he ends up hitting the ball hard, ends up popping up. We don't give him one, hitting the ball hard on the ground again, and eventually, gets a base hit. It's just a regular 2-strike approach. So we go through all these different situations. We have guys that are base running. So that one, we're pretty much just playing live with our freshmen and guys who haven't played much baseball before. That way they're running in with the 2-strike approach. But that's the way it works. So that first group, once they're done, then they'll go out and shag. Second group will come in and hit. And then the third group ends up going to the cages. Fourth group is still shagging. And we just rotate through. And what we'll do at the end is, so Jose won for his group. He'll stay on at the end, and we do an opposite field competition, which is pretty simple. The kids like to do it, though, because they go against one of our coaches. So what we do is we have the cage set up, and they're going to get 3 balls, and however many balls they hit into the screen, they get a point for it. And, of course, we have a winner for the day. So that's Survivor BP with the guys that advance going against each other at the end with the opposite field competition.